My name is Derek Colling, as Amy said, and I'm the Treasurer Secretary for PSI, and I'm going to be the moderator for this evening. I wanted to give a brief overview. The subject that's going to be talked about a lot tonight, or group that's going to be talked a lot about tonight, is Wolf-PAC. And Wolf-PAC is an American nonpartisan political action committee that was formed in 2011 with the goal of ending corporate personhood and publicly financing all elections in our country. This would include restricting large monetary donations to political candidates, parties, and groups. And it began with the announcement in an Occupy Wall Street rally in New York City by Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. So the strategy for Wolf-PAC, and there are bigger experts here than me, of course, and they're going to go into a lot more detail, but the strategy is to add a 28th Amendment to the Constitution, thereby overturning multiple Supreme Court cases. And two of the biggies are Citizens United v. FEC and Buckley v. Vallejo. These have made it difficult and impossible to achieve campaign finance goals through simple legislation. So Wolf-PAC advocates for a convention of states, which is a procedure that's outlined in Article 5 of our Constitution to do this. As of 2017, there are 5 states that have passed a resolution calling for such a convention: Vermont, California, Illinois, New Jersey, and Rhode Island. One of the major arguments against doing something like this is something called a runaway convention, which I think we'll be discussing quite a bit tonight. And that's a theory that delegates at an Article 5 convention could potentially make proposals outside of the intended proposal that the convention was brought together for. So that is a very simple overview. So I'm going to introduce the speakers in order of how they're going to be presenting tonight. Each speaker will give an introduction for 10 minutes. Then we're going to have some moderator questions. Then we'll open it up to questions from the audience, and then we'll have concluding remarks after that, or closing remarks. So our first debater is Eli Baumwell. He's the Policy Director for ACLU of West Virginia. He received his BA in Government with a concentration in International Relations from Cornell University. From there, he returned to his hometown of Pittsburgh, where he received a law degree and master's in Public and International Affairs, focusing on international political economics. While in Pittsburgh, he met his wife, Courtney, a newly minted dietitian, originally from Charleston, West Virginia. Eli and Courtney moved to Washington, D.C., where he practiced Social Security disability law for 3 years. They left D.C. to move closer to Courtney's family after she had triplet boys in 2013. Eli continues to practice disability law for 2 years in Charleston, or continued to practice disability law for 2 years in Charleston before joining the ACLU of West Virginia in October 2015. So if you could join me in welcoming Eli. Our next presenter our next debater will be Richard Saffle. He's a lifelong West Virginia resident. He's currently living in Marion County, West Virginia. He works 2 jobs, one as a line cook and one as a pizza delivery driver. He became an active citizen after the McCutcheon decision and has spent the last 4+ years fighting for free and fair elections. He's been arrested disrupting the SCOTUS on the 1-year anniversary of the McCutcheon decision, serving a weekend in jail and a term of federal probation. He's marched 140 years for campaign finance and voting rights reform in the Democracy Spring, and for 4+ years he's been volunteering with Wolf-PAC, working to pass the Free and Fair Elections Resolution, calling for West Virginia to join the list of states demanding an Article 5 convention limited to the issue of campaign finance reform. He's currently the legislative director of the West Virginia team, as well as a national coordinator. So if we can welcome Richard.
I think we might have given him a few extra years.
Yeah.
How many years was that he marched? How many years?
I marched 140 miles, not 140 years.
Still very impressive, just not quite as impressive.
It's something to aspire to.
I'm still working on the 138 years of that.
It took 204 years to get the 27th Amendment.
Seth Disefano is a policy outreach director for the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy. He works with lawmakers to pursue policies that increase shared prosperity across West Virginia. He holds a BA in Liberal Arts and Sciences from West Virginia University Seth has experience organizing both electoral and issue-based capacities, and in 2006 he was elected and served as chairman of the Randolph County Democratic Executive Committee. Following a successful election cycle, he turned his focus toward issue advocacy, serving as a field organizer for the ACLU of West Virginia. Campaigns he has managed include adding protections for LGBT West Virginians to the state's Human Rights Act and fair housing laws, fighting back attempts to build a new prison in the state, and working for the successful passage and enactment of a consent-based vehicle search reform policy to combat racial profiling. Seth's goal at the center is to increase tax fairness for West Virginians' working families through the passage of a refundable state-earned income tax credit. So if we could welcome Seth to the debate. And our last debater, who's coming all the way from Massachusetts, fighting a cold. We're very happy to have him here. Samuel
I hardly
Fieldman.
coughed at all for the last hour and a half leading up to this debate. I'm sorry.
Samuel Fieldman first discovered the Article 5 convention process in 2010 when looking for a way to overturn Citizens United. He has a BA from Cornell University, a JD from Fordham Law, and has recently finished a program in the Public Integrity Bureau of the New York State Attorney General's Office. By the time Wolf-PAC formed in 2011, his wife Caitlin was pregnant with his twin girls, Hannah and Ginny. He joined Wolf-PAC on the day it launched because he knew the Article 5 convention was the only way to overturn Citizens United, and that it was essential to ensuring his girls grew up in the kind of America that he planned to promise them. After serving as a volunteer to New York State Director for, after serving as the volunteer New York State Director for Wolf-PAC, he moved from the Bronx to Massachusetts for better schools and career opportunities for his wife. As National Counselor for Wolf-PAC, he has been researching Article 5 for 8 years, testified in over half a dozen states, wrote Wolf-PAC's model resolution, and given numerous presentations on this issue. If we could welcome Samuel. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to have introductions for each of our debaters. They each have 10 minutes. Two of our debaters have slides they would like to show, so I'll post those when you all are up. So, Seth, or Eli, sorry, if you'd like to take it away. Go.
All right.